Hey everybody, Ben here. Well, I was just reading through the comments on some of my videos, and I noticed a couple comments in there about impersonating the police, so thought it'd be an interesting video to talk about. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about bounty hunters, what they can and can't do, what they can and can't wear, even what they can and can't say. So hopefully this video will clear things up. Now granted, there are the guys out there that try to ride that line as close as they possibly can to look like the police, to have the vehicles like the police, to have all the gear like the police. And you know, there's two different schools of thought on that. Even I, at one time, when I was young, dumb, gung-ho, I did the same thing. But there's two schools of thought on that. One is, the equipment is the equipment. So what if it's the same equipment the police use? It doesn't make it law enforcement specific equipment. You know, handcuffs are used by loss prevention, security, law enforcement, you know, bail bondsmen or bounty hunters. Handcuffs are just a piece of equipment to get a job done. Handcuffs are used for other things, extracurricular activities. Does that make those people law enforcement impersonators? Okay, so expand on that. So you got handcuffs, batons, OC, taser, you got the belt, you got the badges, you got the vests. I mean, all these are tools for the job. I don't have anything against anybody that wears them. The only thing I have a gripe about are the guys that wear them 24/7 and go out there and act like miniature tactical SWAT teams. You know, there is a time and a place. I have all the equipment. I have the raid vest. I have the outer carrier. I have the drop leg holster and the full duty gear. You know, I could dress out to look like a local SWAT team member if I wanted to. And you know what? There are rare, but there are occasions where dressing up like that, putting all the equipment on is necessary. But remember, it's just equipment. Just because cops use it too doesn't make it specific to law enforcement. I know security guards that work in very high stress, high crime areas that wear all that equipment because of the environment they work in, because there's an appropriate time and place for everything. Now, for all the guys out there that are like, well, that's impersonating the police. Well, I got news for you. In order to impersonate the police, you got to actually impersonate them. You know, you have to have decals that say police. You have to identify yourself as a police officer. You have to take an action as if you were a police officer. So if you're a bounty hunter or a security guard or a loss prevention agent at a retail store, and you identify yourself properly and you behave appropriately, then you will never have I have never had a problem. 19 years I've been doing this. I have never been threatened to be arrested for impersonating a police officer. There was one time, and the cop was just ignorant, that he kind of made the accusation. I was in Miami, Florida, and I drove a Crown Vic, and I had all the lights on it. Now, that was a phase. I think we all go through it at one time, but you eventually realize that all the lights are ego. We can't actually use them for anything. And the guys that do use them for something better watch their butts, because that can get you in a lot of trouble. Anyway, and back in the day, I think this was the late 90s, early 2000s, before you had the Garmin GPSs and the smartphones and this and that, I had a laptop in my car, and I used Microsoft Streets and Trips to navigate around. And I had the little USB GPS plug-in that sat on top of my dash light. It was Velcroed to the top of my dual dash misers, right in between the suction cups, and it glowed blue. It just how it was made. It gave a glue glow when it blue glow. Wow, I'm not even going to edit that out. A blue glow when it was plugged into the USB and the power to the computer was on. And the cop walked up and he was like, huh, that's an interesting way of doing it. I said, an interesting way of doing what? He said, yeah, you know, getting real close but not quite there. I was like, dude, that's my GPS receiver. If I wanted to get real close, I'd just put blue lenses on a light that didn't work. You know, which I've seen guys do that, and I'm pretty sure that's over the line a little bit in different areas. I don't know. Different areas have different laws. I mean, in Texas, apparently security guards can run blue lights, right? So, I don't know. And in northern states, blue is fire, red is police. It really depends on where you're going, but I stopped putting lights on my vehicle. I stopped running around like I was, you know, a miniature SWAT team. I dressed just like I'm dressed today, blue jeans and a regular shirt 99% of the time, and I get more results that way. People are more comfortable talking to me now than they were back when I was all tactical and I looked either intimidating or like an idiot, depending on who I was talking to. So I get more results dressing down. Anyway, take that how you will. I think equipment is equipment. Put in the hands of the wrong person, it can be abused, misused, and give the rest of the industry a bad name. But you know what? That same equipment can give law enforcement a bad name, security a bad name, loss prevention, bail bonding. It doesn't matter who it is. It's the person using the equipment. If they use it right and they do their job, they'll never have a problem. If they abuse it and they go out there to be a jerk, then they're going to cause problems for themselves and everybody else. Anyway, that's all. Ben the Bondsman, signing out.